I'll actually come down, guys, to your level because I think I'm tall enough everybody can see me, okay? So first of all, let me start off by saying I think this is a great event, my first time here. And from the experience I had this morning, I just want to give a big round of applause, not just to the organizers, but all the guys and girls who came down here from all different parts of Europe. I hope that this was worth your while. I definitely think it was. So a big round of applause for all of you guys. I met folks from, not just from Berlin, but from Israel, from Russia, from London, UK, and I was really impressed with the quality of talent. Somebody was mentioning some statistics, like if 10% of people get funding out of this is great. I'm not sure how many will get funding out of this specifically, but I will tell you that I would say there are 4 companies out of about 16 that I met this morning that I'm definitely taking to the next step and introducing to partners at Mangrove. So hopefully that's a good statistics for some of you. Why did I like those 4 maybe more than others, right? Because that's always the question of how do VCs think. So really it comes down to 3 things: team, market, and product, right? If you're doing an e-commerce thing, then it's a good idea to have someone on your team who's done something at Rocket, if you're in Berlin. It's a really good idea, I'll tell you. If in terms of the product, if you have millions of downloads, obviously helps. If you don't yet reach that stage, then at least be able to demonstrate that you're credible from a product development perspective. That's important. And from a market, I think market is the most tricky one sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's an obvious one, and many, many more times, the market is where it's kind of, there's a disconnect between you, who believes that he's doing something useful, and the investor who has no clue of that specific market. And it's your job to educate the investor and to get them excited about why this is a growing market, why there's a real need, and this is where a lot of the conversation happens. And I think those 4 companies, in this case, did really well on those points. So a little bit about Mangrove. First of all, maybe start with my name, Eugene, again. I'm a Russian-American, grew up in Russia and then moved to the States. My background is in finance and in product, which, interestingly, I think is helpful for the job that I'm doing today, because there's obviously some financial components and financial analysis that goes into my work. But also, we're an early-stage investor, so actually much more of my time is spent evaluating your guys' ability to build and deliver a credible product to the market and find the product market fit. And that's what I've been doing at companies such as AOL, eBay, and Skype, most recently, where I've been leading product teams developing e-commerce and mobile products. So when companies come talk to me, I quickly get down to the conversation around their product, around the product KPIs, around customer segmentation, and that's really the area that I'm passionate about and hopefully can add value through the conversation with you guys. So Mangrove has been started roughly 12 years ago. We're based in Luxembourg, which I'm sure not a lot of people here have been to Luxembourg. I myself moved there 2 years ago, and I find it a fantastic place that really undersells itself in Europe because it's very centrally located and has a lot to offer. But it just happens so that the founding partners 12 years ago, they all worked in Luxembourg, and that's where they happened to start the firm. Now we are 10 partners. All of us are based there, which means that we're never there, effectively. Because unfortunately, there are not that many great startups coming out of Luxembourg, even though it's increasing. But many more in Berlin, London, Tel Aviv, Moscow, and those are the places where you'll meet a lot of Mangrove guys, because we're always on the road. Increasingly, a lot of the companies we invest in then go to the US because that's where they find the big market. And so, historically, the geography of our investments really has sort of expanded from Western Europe to Russia, where we have a very strong portfolio, to Israel, where we have a very strong portfolio as well, and even to the US, where a lot of the companies went. In terms of the fund size, we have 500 million between 3 funds, and we're seed and early stage. So I think I want to pick up on something that was just discussed a second ago. When is it the right time to go talk to a VC? With guys like Mangrove, I would suggest that you talk as early as possible. And there are 2 reasons for that. First, we do like to invest early. And second, it's all about relationship building. It's all about getting to know each other. And oftentimes, it's very difficult to build that relationship in the context of, I'm raising Series A and I need it tomorrow. The conversation typically doesn't go that well. So anyways, hopefully you've learned a few things about Mangrove, and I'd love to answer your questions later. Thank you so much.